During the gold rush, hundreds of thousands of people risked everything chasing one dream: gold. But only a handful ever found it. These are the luckiest men of the gold rush. On a cold January morning in 1848, James W. Marshall stepped into the shallow waters of the American River, inspecting the tail race of a half-finished sawmill. He was a carpenter by trade, hired by John Sutter to build a mill that might anchor a new settlement. As he sifted through the gravel, a glint caught his eye: tiny flakes, unmistakably gold. Marshall's hands trembled as he tested the metal, realizing what he had found. News did not travel quietly. Within weeks, whispers of gold swept through California, carried by letters, rumors, and the first newspaper notices. By spring, the riverbanks were swarming with men who had abandoned everything for a chance at sudden wealth. The sawmill stood unfinished. Sutter's workers deserted their posts, chasing dreams that Marshall's discovery had sparked. Marshall himself never prospered. He staked claims, panned the river, and wandered from camp to camp as the gold fever he had unleashed consumed the land. Lawsuits and petitions brought him nothing. The state legislature, years later, granted him a token award: $9,600, paid in small installments. It was a gesture, not a rescue. By the time he died in 1885, Marshall was living alone in a small cabin, penniless and largely forgotten. The man who set off the greatest gold rush in American history ended his days watching others grow rich from a fortune he had never held. His name lived on, but the gold slipped through his fingers, leaving only the memory of that cold January morning. John Sutter once imagined New Helvetia as a thriving outpost, a patchwork of fields and orchards, livestock herds, and sturdy adobe walls. But gold fever swept in like a storm. The first trickle of prospectors soon became a flood. Fences snapped beneath wagon wheels. Wheat fields vanished under the boots of strangers. Herds of cattle scattered, driven off, or butchered by hungry newcomers. What Sutter had spent years building unraveled in a matter of months. His grist mill and blacksmith shop were stripped for timber and iron. Outbuildings vanished brick by brick into the growing tent city along the riverbank. Crops went unharvested. Orchards were hacked down for firewood. Even the main house, once a symbol of order and ambition, stood gutted, its doors hanging open to the wind. Sutter's pleas for help fell on deaf ears. The law, such as it was, could not hold back the tide. Land deeds and grants, once ironclad, became scraps of paper as squatters claimed whatever ground they could stake. Sutter turned to the courts, launching a lawsuit that would drag on for decades. He fought for compensation, for recognition of his ruined estate. In 1880, a California court finally awarded him $25,000, a fraction of what he had lost, but a sum that might have offered some comfort. Fate denied even that. Sutter died in a Pennsylvania hotel room on June 18, 1880, just 2 days before the state was set to deliver his long-awaited payment. His empire, once the envy of the valley, was gone. All that remained were court filings, faded land grants, and the bitter memory of a fortune that slipped away as quickly as it had arrived. August 16, 1896. Along the banks of the Klondike River, George Carmack paused by a shallow stream, his boots sinking into the cold Yukon mud. He was not alone. His taggish relatives Skookum Jim and Dawson Charlie scouted the gravel beside him. The day's work was routine, but the land was anything but forgiving. Mosquito clouds, icy water, and the endless hush of the northern wild. Then, with a simple scrape of the pan, Carmack uncovered a streak of gold that shimmered in the weak summer light. He staked his claim on what would become Discovery Creek, filing the paperwork with the Yukon Territorial Government just days later. Word spread like wildfire, leaping from camp to trading post, and finally, to the outside world. Within a year, 100,000 hopefuls surged toward the Yukon, hauling sleds over the Chilkoot Pass and braving temperatures that could freeze skin in minutes. The Klondike Gold Rush had begun. It was not just a stampede for metal, but a mass migration driven by the restless belief that fortune might still be hiding in the next bend of the river. For Carmack, that first strike brought a comfortable fortune, yet he never stopped searching for another. The promise of gold, once tasted, rarely let go. Clarence Berry's story began behind a bar counter, pouring drinks for miners whose fortunes rose and fell with each hand of cards. He listened to their tales, weighed their gold dust, and wondered if luck could ever favor a man like him. In 1898, Berry packed up his life and family, leaving the comfort of San Francisco for the frozen wilds of the Yukon. The journey was brutal. A climb over the Chilkoot Pass, months of hauling supplies through snowdrifts and biting wind. Most who made that trek arrived too late, but Berry's timing was uncanny. He secured a claim on Bonanza Creek and with relentless effort, uncovered a seam of gold so rich that the Dominion Mining Inspector's reports recorded over $130,000 in gold pulled from the earth, an amount that would equal millions today. Berry didn't squander his windfall. While others gambled their gold away or lost it to bad deals, he founded Berry Income Limited, branching into mining supplies and real estate. Incorporation papers from British Columbia in 1902 list his name among the directors, and annual mining reports show steady profits. Berry's luck held, but it was discipline and a willingness to risk everything that turned a bartender into a mining magnate. By the time he died in 1954, Berry's fortune had grown beyond gold, proving that for a rare few, perseverance could transform a fleeting strike into a lasting legacy. Samuel Brannan watched the crowds pouring into San Francisco with a merchant's eye. While others scrambled for riverbeds, he quietly bought up every shovel, pan, and pickaxe in the city. His ledgers from 1849 show a fortune in mining supplies, shovels that once sold for $1 now fetched $15, and pans for $20. Brannan's next move was pure theater. He strode through the streets, waving a vial of gold dust, shouting gold, gold from the American River. The news spread like wildfire, and the rush became a stampede. But by then, Brannan's shelves were stocked, and every prospector who arrived found themselves paying his prices. He never swung a pick or panned a stream, but the gold fever that emptied Sutter's fields filled Brannan's coffers. Weekly revenue often soared above $10,000, a staggering sum for the time. By 1850, he was California's first millionaire. His wealth built not on luck in the earth, but on controlling the tools that fortune seekers could not live without. The gold rush minted legends. But for Brannan, the real mother lode was demand itself. John Deason's shovel struck something solid beneath the tangled roots of a eucalyptus. He knelt, scraping away the clay, and called for his partner, Richard Oates. Together they unearthed a mass so large it took both men to heave it free. A gold nugget, rough-edged and gleaming, measuring nearly 2 feet across. The scale of it was almost beyond belief, 241 pounds. The weight of a grown man compressed into a single, glittering stone. Word raced through the diggings at Moleagle, Victoria. Miners abandoned their pans to catch a glimpse. The welcome stranger, as it was quickly named, shattered every record. At the assay office in Melbourne, officials struggled to weigh it, the brass beam balance creaking under its load. Period photographs show Deason and Oates, hands resting on the nugget, faces caught between disbelief and pride. The Bank of England paid out £10,000. In a world where fortunes vanished overnight, for once, luck had taken physical form, heavy enough to bend a spade and change 2 lives forever. Kevin Hillier's story begins not with a pickaxe, but with a metal detector and a stubborn hope. Recovering from back surgery in 1980, Hillier wandered the fields near King Hour, Victoria, sweeping the ground for any sign of lost treasure. One afternoon, a faint signal broke the silence. Digging just beneath the surface, he uncovered a gold nugget weighing 61 pounds, its surface clean and its weight undeniable. Later tests at the Australian Mint confirmed the find was 99% pure, a rarity even among legendary nuggets. The news electrified prospectors and collectors alike. Hillier filed his mining claim, and within months, the nugget was catalogued by the Museum of Victoria. When Sotheby's auctioned the specimen, bidding soared into 7 figures. The final hammer fell at just over $1 million, instantly rewriting the fortunes of a man who had once walked these fields in pain. The Hand of Faith remains the largest nugget ever found with a metal detector, a testament to the enduring power of chance and the dream that still drives fortune hunters across the world. Today, fortunes still shift with a single discovery, whether in minerals, markets, or code. The true legacy of these gold rushes is a world shaped by risk and relentless hope. In the end, gold rushes were never just about gold. They were about ambition, luck, and the timeless dream of striking it rich.